if you put yourself in the shoes of the buyer, the reason that 5 to 750 or 800 might be struggling in some areas, but not in like Ballantyne or South Park, think about that. 5 to 750, who is impacted by rates not falling any further? And I try to remind you guys, we have an expert about to talk here in a minute, Joe. When rates don't go down like expected, when the Fed chair doesn't change in May like expected, I'm using air quotes because we're not surprised by any of this, like Megan was saying, and you realize that long-term mortgage rates have nothing to do with short-term rates, and that the media was wrong because that was clickbait last year, and that the rates are still in the sixes, who is impacted most? 5 to 750, $800,000 buyer, guys, that is the buyer who's moving up, they're starting a family, an extra $100 a month is make or break for them, and the rate does matter. Okay, so be really discerning. And yes, to Megan's point, if they're in Ballantyne, if they're in a part of Union County that might have great schools, if they're in a part of South Carolina, Indiana with great schools, they can like forego private schools and put their kids in a great public school and save that money. If we're going to be the expert and not an order taker, we're not going to go on WebMD as a doctor and give the prognosis and diagnosis of what everyone else says. We're going to be the experts and realize this is why this community is struggling and this is why this one is not. You guys are the expert. And it is very clear what's happening right now. The buyer is smart. Buyers are still buying homes, but they're using a lot more discernment than ever before because the rate's not on their side. They're using a lot more discernment than ever before because they actually have options, but then they are pulling the trigger and they're getting great deals. So I do believe this is the best buyer's market we can ever have, because 2009 was a stronger buyer's market where prices were at all-time lows, taking inflation into account, and we actually had deflation then. The challenge is buyers didn't have jobs. The challenge is that stock market was all-time low. The challenge is that buyers had no money in the bank. Now they actually have equity and they can actually do something. So this is the best buyer's market for anyone who's a place to buy that we've ever seen, guys.